If you're struggling to get a good night's sleep or just to wake up feeling more refreshed, you're in the right place. In today's video, I'm going to share 5 simple but effective tips to help you sleep better and wake up energized. Whether you're tossing and turning at night or just looking for a way to improve sleep quality, these tips may just help. The first thing I would consider when trying to get better sleep is to set a sleep schedule. Whether it's during the week or on the weekend, it's important to try and come up with some kind of routine that you can stick to so your internal clock is used to going to sleep at the same time and waking up at the same time. Now, an example of this is on the weekends, we like to sleep in a little bit, which can be detrimental to your sleep in the coming weeks. If you are waking up nice and early for work from Monday to Friday, you feel energized, you feel good, and then you are waking up late on the weekends, you're throwing off that internal clock, which can then affect your week in a big way. So Monday, usually people feel a bit more lethargic. Tuesday, you're kind of recovering, and by Wednesday, you're back to normal. But a way to avoid that delay in feeling good for the new week, you need to try and keep the same sleep routine going. So for myself, I know for a fact, if I get into bed earlier, I wake up nice and earlier, I feel refreshed, I feel ready for the day, I don't have any kind of mental fog, and my mental clarity is good. But when I go to sleep late, I wake up late, the rest of the day feels like a chore. I don't really want to be doing the things that I'm doing. So setting up some kind of sleep schedule will definitely help you. Putting into place a sleep schedule will also help you fall asleep automatically because your body knows that it's time to sleep, it's time to rest. And then when you wake up, sometimes you don't need to set an alarm because your body knows this is the time that you need to wake up. So I would definitely consider thinking about some kind of sleep schedule for yourself. The second thing that I would consider is having a nice sleep routine. So before you go to bed, why not read a book, have a nice warm bath, pray, meditate, stretch, do something that is preparing your body to kind of wind down for the rest of the night. Watching television, playing graphic, violent video games, or scrolling social media will not help with that. Your brain is still active at that moment. When you're scrolling social media, the blue light is stimulating your brain and it is not allowing your body to sleep or to rest. That's why a lot of phones will have the yellow light filter, and you can get glasses now that have yellow light filter that people will often turn on before they're about to go to sleep because they don't want their bodies to be impacted. But it's not just the light, it's the stimulation that that phone is providing before you go to sleep. When you're about to sleep, you should think about winding down. Your body should be ready for it. So if your mind's doing it, but your body is not, then you're setting off different signals to the body and the brain. So body and brain should be in sync before you're about to go to sleep. So one thing I like to do before I go to bed is I do a little bit of writing to wind down. Nothing too intense, just how the day's gone. Just kind of get that last few, bits of contemplative thought down on paper. Or sometimes I like to read a book because that helps me sleep. Sometimes I like to have a shower just before bed to wind down. But it's about having those kind of rituals before you sleep, making sure there's no lights on, making sure that all of the curtains in the room are blackout curtains, so there's no light coming in. Different things like that can definitely help your quality of sleep, but it depends on the person. Some people would find reading really, really stimulating and would be lost in the world of that book or that story or whatever. For me, it's completely different. Books don't do that to me. They make me want to go to sleep. So reading definitely helps. And again, with showering and things like that, if it's something that soothes you, eases your mind, there's definitely something you want to consider. But meditation as well, being mindful, preparing your brain and your environment for sleep can definitely help. Just a quick one, guys. If you are enjoying these videos, then it would really mean the world to me if you could hit the subscribe button and like the video as well. And if you subscribe, you'll then be keeping up to date with all of the videos that I drop through notifications. So consider hitting that subscribe button. And that brings me on to my next point, and that is your sleeping environment. Making sure your environment is set up for you to go to sleep. So if you're someone that likes to work in bed, just make sure when you come back to that room, make sure there's no papers all over the bed, make sure there's no laptops, make sure there's no sign of work on that bed. Your bed should be associated with sleep. So ensuring that that environment is ready for it, making sure there's dim lighting. So as the evening progresses, make sure you're turning off lights in the house to try and get yourself used to the fact that it's nighttime. And then when you're in the bedroom, implementing things like having a sleep mask to wear, or an eye mask, sorry, to wear before you go to sleep. You can have soothing music if you want to, soothing you, making sure that you are priming yourself for that sleep. You can also ensure that the temperature is the optimum temperature for the room. Make sure it's not too hot and not too cold. I'm not sure what the correct temperature for a room is, but you can have a look. But I always get very, very hot at night, so I try and sleep with like shorts and a vest. I don't really wear the duvet straight away. I make sure that I feel good. Some people like to have fans on to get that optimum temperature, but it's whatever works for you, whatever you think you feel comfortable in before you go to sleep. So clothing as well, not to, even during the winter months, not to wear something too hot that will disturb your sleep where you have to wake up and take it off because you're so hot. So making sure that you're setting your night up in a good way from the point you put your head on the pillow to the point you wake up. There should be no disruption in that time frame. Number 4, and this is quite a major thing to consider, is avoiding any kind of food or drink before you go to sleep, especially things that are high in caffeine, high in nicotine, high in sugar, things like that, which will affect the quality of your sleep. So often people stop drinking caffeine around 2 p.m. in the day. Caffeine doesn't really affect me like that. It never really has. It gives me a buzz during the day, but it doesn't prevent me from sleeping. I can sleep anywhere at any time, and caffeine doesn't affect that. I've had coffee literally an hour before sleeping and I've slept like a baby. So for me, it doesn't affect me. But if it does affect you, then yes, making sure that you're not having any caffeine past a certain time will definitely help. Making sure you're not eating any meals after a certain time. So I think the optimum time is between 6 and 8 p.m. That should be your last kind of meal as you're getting ready for bed. Again, it's different for those that work night shifts and things like that. You have your own routine. But this is for the average Joe that would be working a 9 to 5 and then we'll be going to sleep around 9 or 10 p.m. So yeah, making sure you don't have any big meals, making sure you don't have a lot of water. You wake up during the night and that will disturb your sleep. I unfortunately do that sometimes. I get so thirsty before sleeping that I have so much water that I have to wake up, go to the bathroom, and that's completely messed up my sleep pattern. I've got better at doing that recently, but it can be easily done. So just be mindful of that. And the last thing is nicotine. If you're a smoker, that can affect your quality of sleep as well by increasing your blood pressure and things like that. So just making sure that if you are smoking, you're doing it way before bedtime. If you are drinking coffee, it's earlier in the day. And if you are going to be eating between 6 and 8 p.m., which will then give you enough time for the digestion process to start and your body to start winding down for the night as well. Eating too much as well can cause discomfort. So if you are someone that likes to have nice hearty meals, you definitely should be having that earlier in the day, because if you have that just before bed and then you lie down, there can be a lot of discomfort, which can then disturb your sleep. And the 5th and final thing is staying active throughout the day. If you are physically active throughout the day, it can help tire the body, which will then get it ready for bedtime. Try avoid doing any exercise before bedtime. Again, this is something that can disrupt your sleep pattern. Try and do exercise throughout the day, be physically active throughout the day, and then by the time you get to bed, you're ready to go to sleep. Your body is ready to go to sleep. So for myself, I like to work out in the morning. I then have work. I then do my side hustles in the evening. And then by bedtime, I'm gone. Like I'm literally, as soon as my head hits the pillow, I'm out of it. But I know other people that will have the same routine as me. They'll do more work than myself physically, but then they're not ready for bed because they've done something wrong throughout the day, like had too much caffeine, worked out too late, eaten too much. So physical activity can definitely help with that. So ensuring you're doing it at an optimal time to allow yourself enough time to start that routine. As I mentioned in the beginning, priming your environment, getting ready for bed and not looking at your phone and all of these different things, not eating too much before bed, not drinking too much before bed, making sure that you're wearing the appropriate clothing as well, which is a big one. Psychologically, if you're in clothing which is kind of a bit more loungy, a bit more comfortable, a bit more relaxed, then you're more likely to be relaxed and ready for bed. Whereas if you're wearing your suit still before you're about to go to sleep, it's, and you want to go to sleep instantly, for me, that's never worked. If I've been at an event and I'm wearing a suit by the time I get home, I'm not primed yet, I'm not ready for it yet. I like to get into something more comfortable, and then that routine can start. Physical activity can also help reduce the stress that you feel throughout the day. So stress can definitely be something that can keep people up at night. There are other factors as well, like mental health, anxiety, and all these other things, which I'll touch on in a different video. But allowing your body to be physically active throughout the day can definitely help you prime your body for sleep and reduce stress before you go to sleep, which will then allow you to sleep easier. Guys, thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button, make sure to subscribe and share. I would just like to thank everyone who subscribed currently, everyone that is commenting and showing love on these videos. It really means the world to me, so thank you very, very much. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.